My name's Tessa Watson. I'm a music therapist and I primarily work at the moment in higher education. I'm the head of 5 MA programmes at the University of Roehampton: art, psychotherapy, play therapy, drama therapy, dance movement therapy and music therapy. So I'm primarily working in academia, but I've also retained a clinical role, so I have a contract with the NHS. Thinking about the idea of moving between clinical work and being an educator can be a very difficult one, to think about where do I belong, where do I live as a professional. And it took me a long time to move away from my clinical work totally. In fact, I only left the NHS 3 years ago. So for a long time I had, if you like, a portfolio career. I had a split role where I was working with service users for half the week, and then I was working with other service users, trainees, students, for the other half of the week. And it was really wonderful because the idea is that it all feeds into each other. Your clinical work feeds your teaching and your teaching feeds your clinical work. But it was a big decision for me to leave the NHS, and I did that 3 years ago, and now I work for 4 days a week at the university. I think many AHPs have many of the skills that are needed to be teachers and lecturers and educators. We're very good at helping people grow, at helping people develop, and that's what I found I really loved. It's a bit like being a gardener. You grow people and you see them grow. You see the seed starting and you see the leaves coming, and it's terribly exciting. And that's what I really love about being a lecturer. I love assisting someone in developing their own abilities. There are some factors to take into consideration. You're tied to school holidays. That can be more expensive. It's a great responsibility. All lecturers take very seriously looking after their students and supporting them, and that can mean that if something comes up, you just can't go home. You have to stay there until it's dealt with. So it's a big commitment and you need to be passionate about it, but it's incredibly rewarding and I find it to be a real privilege. There are opportunities to move into higher levels, into management, but actually, I think what I really want to say is it's something to do with confidence. So there were moments when I didn't go for something, and I see now, I look back and I see I should have done that. And now, with more experience, I do things. If I think I really ought to do that, then I do it. So there is something that maybe speaks to all AHPs, which is about having the confidence to try something new. In a sense, that's what's led me to do some of the different roles that I've taken on. I began to write, so there was very little written about music therapy and the work that music therapists do with adults with learning disabilities. And I felt quite passionate about how it should be documented, so I started to write and I started to have that published. So it was really from that position that I started to build up quite a big body of publications, and that has led me on to running writing workshops. I'm now the editor of our national journal. So it's little incremental steps that lead you to then say, actually, I could do this. So I think I would like to say, have confidence. To all AHPs, whether they're newly qualified or very experienced, I would encourage them to find what we might call a mentor. So someone who they can talk to about their career journey. It's helped me in the sense that it's helped me to explore ideas that I might have not had the confidence to think about. It doesn't have to be a manager, it doesn't have to be a formal relationship, but someone that you admire. It could be someone who's written something or who you heard speak at a conference. People are normally thrilled to be approached, and that will help you to be really creative and a bit more daring about thinking about your career.